the ability that he has to drive the ball, given his size, is one of the things that does kind of wow when you watch him.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB, and when you enter promo code LockedOnMLB, they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Smoke. Smoke.
Yeah.
Fire. End of days. That's what's going on. Hey, thanks for checking out the show here and being your first listen. We have a preview of the doubleheader coming up today against the White Sox. We're going to talk about that later. Some roster moves that were made. The Aaron Judge move is official. We're going to talk about that in a second. Also, given that we have an off day, we want to talk about some all-star candidates for the Yankees. There's some obviouses, but let's talk about some dark horse candidates. That's coming up later on in the show. As I mentioned, again, Yankees postponed. You already know that. They will play a doubleheader on Thursday starting at 4 o'clock. You can catch that game, by the way, on Sirius XM. But why you clicked on this? Jared Serna. Remember, we do Minors Monday here on Locked On Yankees, and a lot of people have been asking us, who is Jared Serna? Can we learn more about him? We got the goods for you. We talked with John Brophy of Pinstriped Prospects about Jared Serna. He's talked to him. He's met him. He's watched him play. So let's go ahead and get to that interview right now with John Brophy. John, I want to talk about Jared Serna. So this is directly from our YouTube comments. We do a segment on Locked On Yankees called Minors Monday, and I ask our viewers, who do they want to hear about prospects-wise? And multiple people came out and said, we want to know about this Jared Serna kid. 21-year-old infielder, number 30 prospect, according to MLB Pipeline. You've had a chance to watch him a little bit. You had a chance to talk to him. Tell us a little bit about Jared Serna. Why is he in the top prospects list now?
I think a lot of it has to do with the confidence that he has on the field, at the plate, in the dugout. He's kind of I don't want to say captain-like figure, but he has that kind of a confidence that you would see in that kind of a higher tier kind of a prospect. But just the approach that he has at the plate, he's something else. You know, he's so much fun to watch.
Let's talk a little bit about his offense a little bit, because that's the number one thing that anyone ever cares about, right? He's a smaller guy,
Yeah.
5'6". Can you confirm 5'6"? Is that just listed 5'6"? So you've had a chance to stand next to him. Is he actually 5'6"?
Yeah, he's I'd say probably closer to 5'7" because I'm like 5'9" like 5'10" on a good day kind of thing. And it's he's shorter than me. I'll say that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a ton of power, but the ability that he has to drive the ball, given his size, is one of the things that does kind of wow when you watch him.
Yeah, kind of describe his swing a little bit. Of course, our YouTube viewers are watching some clips throughout this episode, but for our audio listeners, what kind of swing does he have? Just kind of break down what you've seen so far.
So he has kind of an open stance at the plate. He's not really choking up on the bat. He's just kind of a normal kind of a holding the bat sort of thing. And his swing is just pretty quick overall. He's not so much the fly swatter kind of a swing, but he's got a pretty quick swing, and I think that's what a lot of that power and driving the ball comes out of.
And let's go defensively now. We'll get to the logjam in a second, and your thoughts on that throughout the system. But playing mostly second base, to my understanding, is that correct?
Yeah, second base, shortstop. Every once in a while, the Tarpon's manager, Rachel Balkovic, will throw him over at third when they want to give a guy a day off. But that was one of the questions where I asked them in the interview was, they're kind of using you like a util guy. What if they were to put you in the outfield like they did Oswaldo Cabrera? And he said, yeah, I'm all for it. I have the tools to do it. So the confidence that he has as far as his defense goes is very exciting, is given that he's a lower level prospect.
And far as him at second base, Pipeline has him anticipated 2026, but by then the landscape could drastically change in the next couple of seasons.
Oh, yeah.
So as far as second base is concerned, is that his natural, or is he thinking more shortstop?
So he told me that second base was his natural, but he prefers being at shortstop. And then that goes with the logjam that you were talking about, because there really is no clear path.
Yeah, there's basically nothing with Trey, we don't even talk about Trey Sweeney. Like no one even is considering Trey Sweeney, really, to be fair. And even though he's a top prospect and extremely talented middle infielder as well, prospects are that for a reason. So what is it about Jared Serna that he needs to work on in order for him to continue to succeed?
I think he needs to lower his K rate. He's kind of like Jason Dominguez in a way when he was in Tampa, where I don't want to say he's swinging at everything like Jason was, but once Jason got to Hudson Valley, he became a completely different guy, and he became the Martian and everything that he was touted to be. And then that's only gotten better in Double-A Somerset. So I think that's kind of where Cerna's biggest opportunity is right now. Would be his the swing decisions as far as what he chases. His defense is, if I had to give it a grade, I would say it's probably a plus. I wouldn't say it's like double plus or like 80 grade or anything like that. So it's up there. It's decent defense, especially given his size, but his size also adds to the agility that he would have at a shortstop kind of a position.
Just 21 years old, played in the Mexican Winter Leagues recently. I know, again, I said 2026, the anticipated, but do you anticipate him being at Tampa all season?
Given the logjam that they have, I was talking to the GM the other day about that, and I was saying, hey, I want to get this interview done because who knows when Serna gets called up, and he was saying that he's anticipating second half once the draft kids come in, because that's when they start making their bigger moves, starting to get rid of more guys, whether it's released or they get promoted or whatever the case is. And that's usually the case. Usually it's somewhere around July that kids go up. That's when Anthony Volpe went up to Hudson Valley, was that July timeframe. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with Serna as well.
Let's kind of touch on that logjam a little bit here. Obviously, you're following the entire system, covering prospects with the Yankees. So just kind of what are your overall thoughts? Stacey and I talk about this pretty frequently. We just talked about it a couple of days ago about Oswaldo and just that logjam. What are your general thoughts on that?
I'm so frustrated. I could probably talk a half hour on that, honestly. There's like the outfield. Like, where are you going to put Jason? Where are you going to put Everson? Second base, there's Ben Cowles. He's kind of like an org guy where he's just kind of a roster filler in a way, I think. And then you have like Jesus Bastidas, who's up in AAA, and he's doing his thing. And then Oswaldo Peraza, I feel so bad for him. He's stuck in AAA, kind of banished from the Yankees in a way because they want to play JD so much, which I get. There's the money's there, so I get that part. But and then shortstop, you have Volpe, which I'm happy for because I covered him in Tampa. So you have Volpe, you have Alexander Vargas, you have Sweeney. Who else am I forgetting? I guess Peraza is playing shortstop at AAA, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's playing a little bit more third recently, but yeah.
Yeah, so first base is really the biggest opportunity that that you would have as far as promotions go, because there's a couple guys that have gotten released, have disappeared, whatever. And then I guess that's where you have like an Andres Chaparro or TJ Rumfield.
There's so many names. There's just a lot everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got to imagine someone gets flipped here, especially if this Nestor thing goes longer. I think the Yankees are going to make a move here to try and get another starter, which seems ridiculous if you talk about the offseason and what they ended up doing and what they've done in the last calendar year. But at this point, who knows when Carlos is going to pitch, and who knows now when Nestor's is going to pitch. One more thing before we wrap this up here. Who are some of the guys that you've watched in Tampa this season that maybe shows like us or other publications aren't really talking about, but you're like, hey, I like this guy?
Luis Velasquez has really, really blown me away. He's a smaller guy like Serna. I think he's like 5'6", 5'7", but he can reach triple digits, which is mind-blowing given the size. He has a fun curveball, and his ERA was just north of 1. And last month, he had an ERA of 0.79, which is ridiculous, especially for a single A when it's common to have an ERA around like 8 or 9. So for a reliever, I mean, that's a lot of fun, and it's really exciting to see him get promoted to Hudson Valley. As far as like, say, a starter would go for that kind of thing, since that is such a big thing with everybody getting hurt, Justin Lang has been fun to watch because he started off really rough. I mean, there's so many guys. Justin Lang started off kind of rough. Hayden Berta started off rough, and then he was just named pitcher of the week last week or the week before. So the progress that a lot of these guys have made in the past month even has been pretty game changing, literally speaking, because these guys have been putting up really, really good numbers in the past month or so.
See, Locked On Everydayers and Minors Monday viewers, you know a lot of these names already. Like, that's what you come here for, man. And if you're into Minors Monday, you have to check out Pinstripe Prospects. You guys are a lifesaver for me, working in the system the last couple of seasons. Like, it's great because when I need to know something about somebody, Pinstripe Prospects has my back. John Brophy, managing editor, thanks for joining us today, man. We'll leave your links in the episode description to definitely check it out.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Hey, this episode is brought to you by one of our favorite sponsors, Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs is the best place to buy men's shorts and pants that come with a built-in liner. I have a couple of pairs that Bird Dogs sent over to us and other Locked On hosts. I know Stacey likes them, and I really like them. They're very comfortable. I feel better. I look better. If I can brag just a little bit about it, I like my Bird Dogs. There's no denying that. They're super versatile. You can wear them golfing. You can wear them when you're going out with friends. You can wear them over the summer. And they're actually a lot cheaper than other reputable brands. And Locked On Yankees listeners have the opportunity to get some free stuff when you place an order at birddogs.com. They have a ton of different styles and fits to choose from. You're definitely going to find something that's going to fit your lifestyle. You can go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. And when you enter that promo code LockedOnMLB, they're going to throw in a free Bird Dogs Yeti style tumbler. It's good for coffee. It's good for tea. I use it for my tea in the morning. They're going to throw that in with every order. You can go to Bird Dogs again, birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Hey, thanks again for making us your first listen every day. To the everydayers out there, you already know tomorrow is Fan Mail Friday. Drop your questions right now. Your last chance in our YouTube comments, and we will answer as many as we can on tomorrow's show, especially with a doubleheader. We're going to have to crank through both of those games before we can talk about some fan mail questions. So make sure you drop them. Give us some good ones in our comments section. Stacey, some roster moves here coming just after they announced the postponement of Wednesday's game. This is what Yankees PR officially said. The Yankees made the following roster moves. Aaron Judge on the 10-day injured list, retro to June 4th with a great toe sprain. Great toe. Who calls it a great toe? Yankees PR department does. Transferred Ryan Weber to the 60-day injured list, which of course is a bummer. He's down with a UCL strain. We send our best to Ryan Weber. Very sweet person, by the way. Billy McKinney signed to a major league contract and selected him to the active roster. We were wrong. We thought it was going to be Franchi, so they didn't have to make a 40-man move. But of course, with Weber going on to the 60-day, they had that open spot, so they signed Billy McKinney. Stacey, your thoughts on all these moves?
I think that Yankees PR has Grammarly on their computer, and it corrected great from big, because that's happened to me with Grammarly. So I think that's what happened. I'm bummed about Webby. I know that people are like, who cares about Ryan? No, I'm just bummed that it's a UCL strain, and that's just sad for me. The Judge thing, it's great that it's retroactive to June 4th, but I don't know. I'm worried that I know it's a sprain, but they also talked about ligaments, and like I said on yesterday's show, that scares me a little bit. So let's just hope that he's going to be out for maybe 2 weeks. The McKinney thing, like you said, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah, Billy McKinney's been playing pretty decently
Mm.
with the Rail Riders this season, like a 270 average. He's hit like 9 bombs in 40 games. Like he's playing pretty decent. He's just going to be on the bench, right? Like I imagine he'll get maybe some pinch running opportunities and maybe a start here and there. But I can't imagine Billy McKinney being an everyday player.
Yeah, because I'm assuming it would be Bowers, IKF, Cabrera, right, in the outfield, or maybe
Stanton. If they have to.
Yeah, if they have to, because I think they want to try and avoid that. So yeah, it's possible we might not really see Billy McKinney. He's just there.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I imagine he'll get some at bats, but again, I don't think he's going to be a regular part of the lineup here. Maybe that's why they didn't have Franchi come up, just so we can keep getting reps down with the Rail Riders. They don't like Florial. Other updates that happened, Carlos Rodón in the thick of the smoke threw a bullpen to live hitters, Stacey. He saw Oswaldo, he saw DJ in that pen. Your thoughts on Rodón facing hitters?
I mean, it's a good step. I just don't like that he was doing it in 320 plus air quality, because that's not good for anyone. We don't need him going on the IL again with black lung, so, but it was good. He also mentioned that he was talking about how difficult, if the game were to have been played, how difficult it would be to see the balls up in the air in the smoke. And, it's possible there was a miscommunication between the White Sox, but it is possible that the haze played a role in that misplay on Tuesday night. So I'm glad they're not playing. I'm glad he threw a pen. Hopefully he's feeling okay. We'll probably know more tomorrow because we're recording this on Wednesday. So Thursday, when you're watching this, we'll probably know more about how he's feeling after that pen. But the fact that he's throwing at people, not at them, to them, is a good sign.
I'll take it. Also on top of that, Harrison Bader did do some agility work as well on the field during that pen session. Harrison is eligible to return on Friday, but probably not going to happen. Just so you're aware.
Yeah. I feel like they might delay it until the Mets series next Tuesday. I feel like that might be his time to come back.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And of course, if everything goes okay and feeling all right. And remember, it's a hamstring strain. So that's
and you don't want to rush that back because he can do something to it again. Yeah.
Can't rush that. Stacey, we want to talk about some All-Stars. Okay. Let me air some grievances real quick. Some dirty laundry needs to be hung out on the clothesline here. It feels like it comes earlier every year, and I'm like, I don't really know yet. Like, I feel like I don't know at this point. Maybe do they need to push the All-Star game back like 2 weeks?
I almost feel like they do. Yeah, I do, because we're really only like a month and a week away from it at this point, and
it feels so early.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I had the same reaction. I'm like, already? And then I looked at the date. I'm like, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense, but it does feel like it's too early because you don't really know how things are going to go in the next month and week-ish.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're voting. You can vote right now at MLB.com, I think, right? Is fan voting open? Probably.
I think so.
Whatever.
Think so.
It will be. You know how it is. You're watching a Yankees podcast and you're like 20 minutes into it. So anyway, some obvious ones here, Stacey. The obvious ones are Judge and Rizzo, right? Like, even if Judge doesn't play this month, like it's clear.
Right. Even if he doesn't play this month, his numbers are so much better than so many other people that he would probably get in there anyway. I would think. And Rizzo's just been great this whole year so far.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's starting first baseman.
That would be something. Although, Yankee fans will be the first ones to complain that Yankee players don't make the All-Star game, but that they also don't vote.
Get out and vote then. Get out and vote.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Garrett Cole as an All-Star candidate?
I feel like he could be. I think they could pick him, and it might be one of those situations again where he's on the All-Star team, but he doesn't pitch because he pitched either the day before or the 2 days before. Yeah. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if he made it again.
If he had a bad month?
Let's not put that out into the universe, but if he had a bad month, then maybe not.
Yeah. If he had a decent month, he's in.
I would think so, because I think his
or
age will
at bare minimum, like an injury replacement or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Dark horse candidates, Stacey. Do you have some in your brain?
I was thinking Michael King. Holmes, he's improved a lot, and he was on the team last year. He was one of those, first of all, Clay Holmes is a Yankee. Wow. Clay Holmes is a Yankee and an All-Star. The All-Star game last year was so Jose Trevino, Clay Holmes, Nestor. It was so, first time, and everyone just in awe of who went. And I wouldn't be surprised if Holmes got another turn there. That would be pretty cool for him because he's improved a lot.
Yeah. Clay Holmes is one of those guys that is an all-star, but to every other fan base, when they're like, from the New York Yankees, Clay Holmes, and there's just zero cheering.
Yeah,
just at all. You're always like, who's this reliever?
You're like, who?
Yeah.
We know Mo. Who?
Yeah, it's always that. It's always that. For every team. It's like, from the Chicago White Sox, Joseph Niagara. And you're like, what?
Who?
And then you find out he's throws 103, and you're like, what? Who's this guy?
Where did he come from?
Yeah. Joseph Niagara, vote for him this year. Yeah, I think Clay Holmes, if he keeps going in this direction, man, he had that one bad outing, but ever since then, it has been full rocket ship to the moon.
Yep.
And then Michael King.
Same thing.
Every time we say Michael King, did you ever see that interview on Larry King with, oh my gosh, what's his name? Eric Andre. Did you ever see that? He's like he does a rapid fire segment with Eric Andre, and then he's like, who's your favorite person to get a coffee with? And he goes, Larry King. And he says Larry King 6 times in a row. Every time we say Michael King, I think about Eric Andre.
That's funny.
So there you go. There's a little insight to my dumb brain. Hey, who is your dark horse candidates? Do you think Holmes and King will get a legitimate shot? Who else do you think? Is there somebody that we're missing? Volpe? Nah, not with that batting average. Sorry, brother. Love you, Anthony. But can you make a case? Try and make the case in the comments section. Drop them down. Can you make the case for Anthony Volpe as an all-star in his first year? I don't think you can. While you're down there, drop your questions for Fan Mail Friday. Again, it's your last chance. You can catch the White Sox series so long as it gets played here on Sirius XM, as you already know. Coming up, we're going to preview the doubleheader tomorrow. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Doubleheader today, Stace. First doubleheader of the season.
Wow. Is it? Really?
I think so. I'm not crazy, right? We haven't played a doubleheader yet.
I'm trying to think. We haven't had any
We haven't been rained out.
Wow.
Look at that. I made it till June. So it's going to be Sevy in game 1. Boy, does he need to bounce back.
Oof, that was that was really bad. That was really, really bad. We talked about it. His velocity was down, could be dead arm. He just really needs to. We said this with Brito after he had that really bad start against Minnesota, but when he couldn't get out of the first inning and he gave up 7 runs, which was basically Sevy against the Dodgers. Just get out of the first inning. Once you get out of that first inning and you feel like, okay, I'm doing better than the last time, then things will be okay. So if he makes it out of the first inning unscathed, I will have a good feeling about Luis Severino. With
Nestor Cortez down, how important is Luis Severino?
Oh, I mean, he was important before that, but now he's really, really, really important.
Extremely. He's the 2 now.
Yeah. Yes. I was just going to say that. He's the number 2. He's your number 2 guy now. He has leapfrogged his way into the number 2 spot because if the rotation was the way it was supposed to be and no one was injured, it would have been Cole, Rodón, Cortez, depending on the order, and Sevy. He would have been number 4. Montas would have been number 5. That's just the way it was going to be. And now he's your number 2. And yes, he's extremely important right now.
Yankees need to make a trade. Hey, Mike Clevinger will be going in the doubleheader as well. Clevy's coming off of a decent start against Detroit, 5 shutout innings. He has had a mixed bag this season, and
just like every other White Sox.
Just like everybody else in the White Sox rotation. And then it's Vasquez and Lynn. We already previewed that on yesterday's show. Of course, that was supposed to be the game 2 matchup. So again, it'll be Sevy in game 1. But man, a bounce back would be
huge.
Welcome.
Huge welcome. It would be a relief because, you don't want to have him look pretty good in his first appearances and then slide down, especially as you said, he's really important right now. The Yankees need him to get with it and do well.
And by the way, if this game is deemed unplayable, the White Sox do not come back to New York this season. The Yankees do go back to Guaranteed Rate Field in August. I believe it's 7, 8, 9. They'll be down there for a 3-game set. They have a off day on the 10th. Both teams have an off day. It's a travel day for New York. It is not a travel day. It's in between 2 series and a homestand for the White Sox. So I imagine if this doubleheader is unplayable, then they will end up figuring something out around there. Probably a doubleheader, maybe in that middle of that series for the middle game. They play a doubleheader, play a single game, and then play a makeup on the 10th is what my anticipation would be if they're unable to play either of the games on Thursday. So just so you're aware of how scheduling works, that's what you're getting around for the very end of the show to learn about how does Major League Baseball scheduling work. I don't know. That's my foreseeable future. I don't know how you feel. Anyway, questions, you know them, you got them. We know you got them. Drop them in the comment section here on YouTube. And of course, we will answer them on our Friday show. The White Sox series continues. The whole season continues on SiriusXM. Download the SiriusXM app for free today. Get a free trial. Coming up on Friday, as we mentioned, it's Fan Mail Friday. So be ready for that. Hit subscribe. That's going to be it for us today. Stacey, I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.